Hey everybody, the Mariners are 21-18, still battling for kind of the first place spot, half game currently behind Texas, but despite some recent faltering in Minnesota, still playing some pretty good baseball, but not without their problems. We'll touch on that and more in this week's episode. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Sogcast. I'm Patrick.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Garrett.
So yeah, the Mariners haven't been playing great baseball. They're still winning. They're still winning more often than not.
It's true.
But they haven't been that good. I mean, offensively, it has just been a nightmare.
It's true.
So many strikeouts. Still finding ways to win games, but that's because our pitching has been so dominant. But we saw in the Twins series, if our pitching falters, you know, the team...
A little bit.
Oh,
That's going to shake up the whole game.
All the times the pitching has picked up our offense couldn't return the favor this week against the Twins especially, and especially Game 1. We'll get into the recap here in a minute, but our 6-series winning streak ended, which sucks. We couldn't even split the series with the Twins.
It would have been nice to go 2-2 in that series. And, I mean, 4 games on the road is hard, like against a top squad like the Twins are. But still, if you want to be a playoff caliber team, you got to split those series. And the fact that, I mean, 2 of those 3 losses weren't even competitive baseball. It wasn't, especially the final one in the series on that Sunday game. I mean, 11-1.
It's got smacked around that day.
Yeah, there was just nothing. That was not a fun game to
Absolutely
listen to.
blown out, and it was our boy Walter's first blow up of the season.
Yeah.
So. I mean,
it's bound to happen at some point. That's just baseball, you know. Even the most the pitcher that wins the Cy Young Award this year is not going to have every start be dominant. You're going to have those bad starts. But as a team, as a good baseball club, you need to pick up your star pitchers when they just don't have their stuff that day. And the Mariners couldn't. They just got... I mean, they got bullied off the field that day. It wasn't even fun.
Yeah, it wasn't competitive at all from the get-go.
Yeah.
You're exactly right, though. We're finding ways to win games, even though we're playing, like, I would say pretty mediocre baseball as a team.
Yeah, our pitching is great, but all the other aspects, and I noticed kind of some faltering in our defense again recently, which was a big issue at the start of the year. Then the Mariners had cleaned it up, and I've noticed the past, I would say 2 weeks, we've really had some issues with defense that has been hurting the team.
I've seen good and bad defense. Like Luis Arias has gotten a ton better at third base throughout the year, and he looks really solid over there. I'm finally on board with that. But Mitch Haniger seems to be looking worse and worse in right field. It doesn't help that at Twins Target Field, the right field is very large. Like they have a lot of green out there in the outfield, and Haniger just isn't the guy he used to be. He's not quite as quick, and he doesn't have the hands that he used to. I used to argue that he was a better right fielder than you guys thought, and I'm starting to be on board with you guys, and I really have seen that decline this year. And I don't think he's really a guy you need to put out in right field almost every day.
He should definitely play less. I agree with that.
Yeah, and to keep him healthy,
exactly,
and to keep his bat fresh, we need him for his bat, not his defense.
Right.
So, the right field is kind of a position where you need to put someone more athletic out there. And Luke Raley doesn't look like super athletic. He's a big dude and he can get around. He actually has a really good arm.
It's pretty fast.
I do want to see him out there in right field, even though he looks kind of awkward like Hunter Pence used to. You know what I mean?
Hunter Pence.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what do you guys think about this? Dominic Canzone coming back and keeping Rojas in left field. Dominic Canzone, put him in right field, have Haniger DH, and Garver can just, fuck off. Who cares?
Sure. I mean, on that kind of day, that means we want to get more left-handed bats in the lineup, so we put Rojas in left and Canzone in. They're both left-handed, and have Mitch Haniger kind of as, just the right-handed bopper DH guy. But, I mean, I see that happening. I can see us using Rojas more at left field. He played second base yesterday. He could probably play some first base if we needed that at some point, if Ty France isn't doing what he needs to be doing, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Just like the Mariners, we're striking out.
Wouldn't be a Sogcast if things didn't go wrong.
Soggy.
Sometimes, yeah. All right, let's get back to it.
Let's get back to it. We dropped the Twin Series. It ended our series winning streak.
Yeah, it was a 4-game series, and we could have won that first game. But let's get going on our recap here, because we have to go all the way back to the last game versus the Astros. Way back on Sunday, where the Mariners won that game 5-4 and took the series from our division rivals, the Astros. Bryce Miller started that game, and he had a nice game. Josh Rojas, though, he's our boy. He's getting on base all the fucking time, and he had a leadoff double in that game. We couldn't score him in the first, which sucked. It's great to see what Rojas is doing in J.P. Crawford's absence, because JP wasn't doing awesome, and dude, Rojas is the best leadoff man we've had for a while.
I mean, the dude is batting over 350 on the season. Like, he has been a constant hitter since he's got here. Best pickup the Mariners have had since, like, Nelson Cruz, honestly. I'm so happy that Rojas is a part of this team, and it's notorious. And we're seeing it this year with players coming in and not being able to hit. Mitch Garver not being able to get it done, and we've seen it time and time again in the past. So for Rojas to come in as a new player and hit the ball well, it's so nice to see, and it's, it's nice.
He should be an everyday player, man. They only have him batting against right-handed pitching. He has less than 10 at-bats, I think, versus left-handed pitching, maybe around 10. And I looked up his career stats, man. He's not that bad against left-handed pitching, and he should be in the lineup every freaking day, because he's the only guy that's doing it consistently right now.
Keep Arias at third, put Rojas in left field.
Put Rojas anywhere. Like, we had him at second base yesterday. Yeah. I bet he could play first base if we need it.
Well, and they always say in baseball that if you can hit, they'll find a spot for you. And Rojas is hitting.
He's an athlete, too. And Arias made a great play in the first inning, too, to turn a double play there and help Bryce Miller move this game along. He, like I said, his defense has gotten so much better. And then we get to the second inning. We got the bases loaded. 0 outs. What do the Mariners like to do in that situation?
Well, there's usual Seattle special, which is
we hate
scoring no one.
But
they managed to.
Yeah, they did manage to. They managed to score, one guy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's what the Mariners do best.
Not quite the Seattle special, but
close enough.
We grounded into a double play there, Polanco, to end the inning, which sucked.
Common.
But who got the RBI? Fucking Rojas. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Hunter Brown, he was kind of highly touted at the beginning of this season. He was on my fantasy team, and I thought he was going to do really well. I've dropped him
like a
since
sack
then.
of potatoes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we had him at 57 pitches through the second inning, so we got on him pretty early, and we couldn't really score more runs in the second inning there to bury him early, but we did what we could, and yeah.
There's an appearance from Mariners legend Rafael Monterrable.
That's right.
Yeah.
Monterrable. We've seen him with the Rangers. We've seen him with the Astros, and we tend to hit him really well.
Yes.
I think every team tends to hit him really well.
I would say so.
It's crazy.
Also in that game, Josh Rojas almost hit for the cycle.
He did.
It was close.
It was close. I thought he was going to do it.
What did he need? A home run?
I know he got a triple.
Yeah, I think he needed a home run. But he killed it,
Yeah,
man.
that was the only thing.
Yep.
That was Rojas playing left field, so we could get Urias and Rojas in the lineup on the same day. I think that's the first time we did that.
And they've been sticking with it. The Mariners.
They like doing it now. Yeah.
Yeah, it
and
seems
I
like
them doing it too.
Yeah, Rojas is fine in left field. And, it's not like we had the strongest outfield defensively anyways, so.
You know who's been awesome, too? Fucking Dylan Moore, dude.
Oh, my God.
Dylan Moore has been huge. He's been playing shortstop damn near every day since JP went out with his injury, and man, he's been getting it done.
Hitting too. He's been having a better season than I've ever seen him have, and being in the lineup every day, I think, helps him a lot be in that flow. And I've been saying it all season, like, he's the most ready guy on the field, and he's kind of twitchy and, like, ready for everything. He's kind of has the same energy for every play of the game, which I like to see. He's not high and low. He's, like, steady, ready, and, like, that's a very good example for other guys, too. He's really worked into that role really well, and he plays his role really well.
So, like, what Mariners are getting it done right now?
Rojas and Demo.
I mean, and Cal. Cal's average is a little low, but he's a catcher. I mean, catchers aren't going to hit 300. It's just the way it goes. But he's coming through in clutch moments, and then, of course, his catching and just defense and just him being on the field is kind of like a field general. Cal, and, I mean, outside of our pitching staff, it's really just Cal, Rojas, and Demo really getting it done right now.
And this game is a perfect example of that, because in the top of the 9th inning, Cal Raleigh, big dick swinging, hits a go-ahead homer against Houston in Houston. Like, this is the guy.
In the
He's
9th
clutch.
inning, that was huge.
And preseason, man, even in our breakdown of what to expect from Cal Raleigh, we said, dude, expect a 210 to 230 average, but like 30 bombs, and hopefully those bombs come at the right time. And he really has a knack for, he says, putting a good swing on it. He says, I just try to get my best swing on it. I'm not trying to hit a home run, not trying to do too much. And he does his best to put the barrel on it. And he does damage. And he's the guy, man. He keeps really calm in those situations, and he's so focused. You can see him when he's running the bases. Like, his face is, like, still, like, so locked in. It's wild. He's one of the best at that.
Oh, yeah.
Munoz comes in, 1-2-3 inning, gets the W. That's our 6th series win in a row there.
Sweet.
That was
Beat
dope.
the Astros.
Riding
Took the series.
high.
Going straight into the Twins series. We have a 13-game streak. We're in the middle of it right now. Like, there's no
We're
days
playing-
off here.
Playing 28 games in 29 days.
Yeah, it's wild.
I was looking the Mariners schedule, and this whole month is brutal because after this homestand, the Mariners are full East Coast and then back again without another day off. I mean, it is insane.
I have some notes about it down here in there.
And that's brutal. You never want to see the Mariners have to go to the East Coast back to Seattle without a travel day. I mean, to just wrap up your game, fly back to the west side, and then get prepared for a game the next day. Like, it's brutal. It's hard for these boys. The Mariners are in a really rough stretch on their schedule right now.
One of the most traveled teams anyway, so
yeah,
we have to tough it out here.
Yeah, and if shit starts to go south, keep that in mind. That's always a factor. You know, we need rest days, and we're not getting them right now.
Yeah, it's a rough patch in the schedule.
Hopefully shit doesn't go sideways, though, and we can just keep running through these games, winning series. And
I was actually looking at the Mariners schedule, and we are going to do 2 episodes while they are on the road trip. So our next episode and the episode after that will both happen when the Mariners are on a current road trip. That just goes to show how long they are on the road for and how much they're traveling without a day off. I mean, that's 2 weeks down the road, and it's just like, wow, that's brutal. 3 weeks, really.
yeah.
It's going to be a lot for those boys.
So going into Minnesota, where it's cold,
Yep.
and where the Penguin hits baseballs.
The Penguin. Yeah, the Penguin, eh?
Cal Raleigh, the Penguin. Don't call him that. It's not his name.
Yeah, so Monday we go into Target Field to play the Twins. Simeon Woods Richardson.
Polanco's return to Minnesota.
Yeah, true. Polanco got a nice standing O.
Yeah.
He's been there for quite a while. They really love him there. And, he got a nice ovation. Got out, but, that's okay. It's good to see that we have a good guy like that on our team, and his other team loves him too. That's always fun.
Absolutely. But yes, Simeon Woods Richardson, 3 up, 3 down, first inning.
He
After
carved us up.
Polanco, yeah, he's back. Boom, boom, boom. Sit down. It's our turn to bat. Okay. That's how this is going to go? Yes, that's how the next 4 games goes.
Yeah, man. And in this game, the first 5 innings just flew by because Castillo was dealing. Simeon Woods Richardson was sharp. The M's had 3 hits and struck out 15 times all day.
Yeah.
The Correa double made it 1-0 in the 5th. And then in the 7th, Ty France strikes out with the bases loaded, no one out. Garver sac fly. Rayleigh strikes out. We got 1 run again with the bases loaded and no one out.
No shutout today.
1-1 tie, sick.
This is
Bases
what we
loaded,
play
no one out.
for.
What are you supposed to do when the bases are loaded? Fucking put the ball in play,
Just
maybe?
do
Be nice.
something. It's so rough.
Put the ball in the air.
Yeah. Something medium.
Something?
Please?
Well, yeah, instead of just K-ing.
Yeah, that's bad.
Or, even worse, the ground into the double play to end the inning with the bases loaded after scoring nobody.
Yeah, my favorite.
Yeah.
The Seattle special.
Also, speaking of Mariners defense and Julio specifically, who we have been harping on recently with just defensive miscues, miscommunication, there was a play that happened in this Monday game that drove me crazy. There was a pickle with the runner caught between third and home. And for anyone that doesn't know how the pickle drill goes, when someone's caught in between the base pass and they're in a pickle, pretty much the whole team crashes in because you want to have the bases covered and you need to have everyone cycling in and out to get them in this rundown. And in this play, everyone's crashing. They're all between third and third in the plate, executing this rundown. And Julio is standing in center field, just in la la land, just not paying attention. They were able to actually get the out on the base pass, but with Julio just standing in center, not paying attention, the runner on first was able to advance to second. That run ended up coming in to score too. But
Even if we couldn't have thrown him out, it would have made the runner and the base coach think twice about going to second. And the goal of that runner in the pickle is to wait long enough to get that runner to advance to the next base. He wants to, if he knows he's going to get out, he wants to at least take long enough so that runner can move up. But Julio should have been on second. There was no one there. There was no opportunity for them to look at that and say, maybe we shouldn't take that extra bag because we don't have enough time to do that. But since no one was covering second and Julio didn't crash from center field straight to second base, which he should have done. I used to do that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I was a center fielder. That's the first thing you do in that situation is go line up behind second base and wait until it's your turn to receive the ball there. And he just didn't do that. It sucked.
And what drove me crazy is I was watching this game on TV, and I saw second base wide open, and I'm like yelling at the TV, and Julio notices it because I was yelling. He heard me, but but
I love the screaming at the TV moments. I've had
well,
quite
like,
a few
cover,
of those.
what are you doing? And Julio tried to run in when the runner was already breaking the second, and obviously that's too little, too late. He's not gonna crash from center field in that time. But again, it just shows Julio's just head.
It's a mental mistake.
Mental
man.
mistakes. Not being in it. We're seeing it with all of these light collisions in the outfield and due to miscommunication. And we are so beyond fortunate that we haven't had a serious collision yet.
That's
and
true.
it's just been minor. Back again?
All right,
More technical difficulties.
So in that first game, they let Castillo go into the 7th inning. Traffic immediately. Thornton came in and inherited the runners. They ended up scoring 2 runs. And
Great.
Thornton came off the mound, and you could hear him very clearly on the broadcast yell into his glove.
Yeah.
He was walking off the mound, and he was not happy. Those earned runs go to Castillo. That made it 3-1, and that's the game, man. The Mariners struck out 15 times, had 3 hits, and that's the name of the game there is hit the ball, put the ball in play. We blew it. And late in that game, who was it? Griffin Jacks was trying to hand us that game in the 7th or when we had the bases loaded, no one out. And we struck out twice, and Garver's sac fly was the only thing we did all day. So very forgettable game. We move on to Tuesday, and where the Mariners get a win.
Pretty good win.
The one win we got in the series against Minnesota, the bats showed up. Huge moments. This is the game that we won against Minnesota was kind of the baseball that we would like to see all the time, especially on the offensive side and picking up our pitchers when they didn't have our best day. We saw the rest of the games in the series. We couldn't do that. The Mariners' bats were just dead. So it was nice in the one win to avoid a 4-game sweep that the bats managed to show up, including a huge clutch pinch hit grand slam from the Penguin, Cal Raleigh.
The Penguin.
Oh, man.
He's just cold-blooded, warm-blooded. I don't know. He's if he performs well in cold places, is he a hot-blooded creature? Is that how it works?
Yeah,
Guy stays hot in cold places.
Yeah.
Anyway, cold-blooded, hot-blooded. Cal's just clutch as fuck.
The man's got blood.
Strong blood. It was nice to see the Mariners were able to get on Bailey Ober because he's not an overwhelming pitcher.
Overwhelming.
Overwhelming. He's not very overwhelming. That's good, Garrett.
Another thing that happened in that game, this was surprising. The Twins gave up on that game.
Yeah.
They let that poor reliever in to die.
Yeah,
that poor bastard. I mean, holy shit. They left him in the ninth inning. He threw over 40 pitches.
Yeah.
He could not locate the zone. He was throwing wild all over the place. And when he could find the zone, it was getting hit hard. The Mariners tacked on 4 runs in that ninth inning. And the Twins didn't even have anyone warming up. I was really surprised that they just kind of essentially threw the game away and just were like, okay, we're just going to leave this reliever out there.
I don't know if they're thin coming into the series. Like maybe their relief pitching had already been working a lot and they're trying to save some for the next 2 games, the last 2 games of this series. And I don't know. They left him out there to die for sure. But I don't know. It might have paid off because they did end up winning the next 2 games and had some bullpen to spare. So sometimes you do have to sacrifice one of your guys and throw them under the bus so your more leverage arms are available the next 2 games in closer games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I see what they were doing, and it does suck for that guy to have to go eat it like that. But I'm sure he gets a bunch of butt pats after that too, though, because they know how important that is to keep their other arms fresh.
Yeah.
And
he played a role.
Yep. Who knows?
Salcedo went down that game.
He sure
hurt
did.
his knee.
He did. Little
Doesn't
awkward.
seem too terrible though.
No, it was a hyperextension, so it's a thing that hopefully he didn't injure anything structurally. It seems like it won't be too long of a stint on the IL. He's been really good this year, and it sucks to see that.
There was a controversial play when Saucedo went down too, because it was kind of like this weird situation. Saucedo from pitcher was running to cover first. Ty France threw him the ball. He stepped on first base and kind of, extended his knee. And while he was down, the runner on third, Kepler, scored. And I saw some people giving him heat for that, for like scoring when a player was injured and shit. And let me be the first to tell you, you play until officials tell you you can't. Like,
that ball's live.
The ball was live. There is nothing wrong. Saucedo has gone out and publicly released a statement that it wasn't dirty and that, it's just the way it is.
That's baseball.
It's just baseball. If the ball's not dead, don't treat it like it was dead. And when the Twins scored on that tied the game up in the 8th inning. They needed that run. So, honestly, anyone that's throwing shade or thinks it's a bullshit play, you're mistaken. You're just wrong. It was the right call for the Twins to do. It wasn't dirty. It wasn't malicious. They're playing to win. And Mariners, they tied it, and then the Mariners ended up winning the game handedly. But they needed that run in that moment, and I'm not faulting anyone for trying to score and win.
Yeah,
So.
And Kepler after the game, they interviewed him about it too, and he's like, in that moment, it sucks because you're standing there looking at the guy obviously hurt, but you hear your third base coach behind you saying, go, 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 go. And like the ball's live and you just have to go. You can't just stand there and say, no, coach. Like he's hurt. Like he tells you to go, the ball's live, you're scoring that tying run, man, every time. So
100%.
that's just baseball.
That is.
Yeah. Well, that's Tuesday.
Yeah, the Mariners scored 10 runs. That was nice to see. We need more of that.
Oh, this is another interesting thing, too. Cal came in, pinch hit, home run from the right-handed side because he's a switch hitter. He's already matched his total of home runs from the right side this year, as he did all of last year.
Yep.
And when he was interviewed about it, they were like, "Hey, how come you're hitting these power from the right side?" And he kind of threw some shade at the front office, just being like, "Well, instead of platooning, it's nice to get these regular at bats and stuff, and da 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 da."
It helps him be in the groove and be able to see pitches better. He looked straight into the camera too and was like,
Good.
"Yeah, it's nice to it's nice to get all the at bats and be able to see pitches and be in the zone." Like that's straight into the camera.
Or
Well,
is he saying it's a lot easier? Did he play that game or was it Sebi?
It was Sevy. He came in as
Okay.
a pinch hitter.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is maybe he was talking about it's a lot easier to do that kind of thing when he plays the full game. Like he gets his first 3 at bats, not coming in late in the game but I guess that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I think what he's saying, though, is because he's a switch hitter, they don't have him hitting from the right side as much because they want their handed matchups.
Yeah.
But he's proving that he's got just as much pop on the right side.
like give me more chances to do it and I'll show you I can put up those numbers too.
Yeah.
It's like Mike Ford saying the same thing
Yeah.
when Mike Ford last year would come in and get a clutch pinch hit, and he'd be like, "If you guys would just give me my at bats, I can show you that I can hit the ball." And I mean, Cal does get his at bats, but it's with what side of the plate he's hitting on with being a switch hitter. And I wouldn't be surprised if the coaching staff straight up tells him, it's like, "No, you can't swing right-handed this at bat. We want you left-handed," and stuff. And it's just like,
What?
it's just
I
let
don't know.
hitters
That's
hit.
the weird over analytical side of things, and Cal has definitely proven even last year that he can hit from both sides of the plate. So they are giving him more of those opportunities, and he's absolutely earned them. So I'm happy, and he also is someone that we should sign up immediately since he's like in arbitration years or whatever. We should post that extension like immediately.
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Please.
I just wanted to know what happened to Mike Ford.
Oh,
he
yeah.
he ended up getting signed by the Reds.
Well, he was released by the Reds and signed back with,
Yeah,
and
no,
then
that's
they
right, yeah.
agreed to terms instead of like letting him go. They were like,
Yeah.
"Okay, dude, here's a contract," and he deserves that too.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right. We should sign up Cal Raleigh for a
Yes,
very long
please.
time.
He is under team control already till like what, 26, 27?
But we'll be paying him incrementally more as his stats are so good and he's so valuable as a catcher. We're gonna pay him more and more through his arbitration years. So you might as well just sign him up for a contract through 5-6 years and
Definitely. We're going to have a lot of young guys coming up through the system, and they're going to be making league minimum. We have room to pay Cal Raleigh a couple extra bucks to be Cal Raleigh and win us some damn ball games.
just some guaranteed money for that guy so he's comfortable.
Yeah. Take care of Cal. Make him this generation's Dan Wilson. I want Cal in a Mariners uniform for the rest of my days. Like,
Yeah.
he's way too valuable in every aspect of the game. The way he calls the game for the pitchers, his toughness, and it's clear that he's got the clutch genes and the power. Like, I mean, Cal needs to stay a Mariner. I'll pay his salary. I don't care. I'll go to, was it Money Tree?
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but I will.
Guaranteed rate.
Yeah.
Well, Wednesday, the Mariners played the Twins again, the third game, and we lost 6-3. George Kirby got the loss. In the first inning, he gave up back-to-back home runs to Correa and Larnach. And that's what the Twins do. They're aggressive in the zone. They know George Kirby's throwing strikes, and he left them in the middle, worked from behind in counts, and he didn't have his best stuff, left a lot of pitches fat in the zone to hit.
I was thinking that it's kind of funny that the way this game kind of went like how the Mariners did in the Red series when they were seeing a bunch of pitches and like going deep into counts, like how in the Red series the Mariners were averaging like 5.6 pitches per at bat, which is absolutely insane. But we've noticed the drop off since then. The Reds pitchers were having trouble locating the zone early on, and the Mariners were able to work that into their favor, get a bunch of high pitch counts, and chase the starter early. And we haven't been able to have that type of success with teams throwing first pitch strikes. Now, on the flip side of that, George Kirby throws first pitch strikes. He attacks the zone, and the Twins read the scouting report. They knew what to do, and they were swinging early and often, and they were jumping on those pitches from George Kirby. I mean, in the first 2 innings, he had given up 3 home runs.
Yep, Willie Castro hit one in the second, too. So that was a quick 3-0 score.
And the Twins were jumping on those first pitches, and that's something that the Mariners haven't been able to do. If teams are throwing first pitch strikes, the Mariners can't battle their way out of that.
Mm-hmm. And, dude, it was just Kirby's one of Kirby's worst starts of the year, and he was pissed off in the 4th inning. He walked a guy, and then Castro hit a triple, and scored Miranda and made it 4-1. And Kirby's just pissed off that walk came around to score because he hates walks in general. So he was just out there not having his best day at all. And also, he's been having knee issues, and we were worried he had an MRI on his knee. Did he? I don't know. He's been not feeling 100%. And even his post-game interview, it's like, we know George Kirby's kind of a tough guy. He's kind of sharp with the media. He's very like, I'm just here to say the thing so I can go about my day, honestly. And like I think he's hiding some discomfort with his knee, and he said it's fine, but he just attributed it to working behind in counts and leaving pitches over the middle. And he's like, I'll just get out there next week and go get him. He's expecting to make his next start, but like, he hasn't been his best his last few starts. There's something going on under the surface that he's not saying, and that's being kept a little bit quiet. Even it's a little discomfort thing, not necessarily a major thing, and he's trying to pitch through something, and I can tell.
Well, we've also seen it with the Mariners staff in general, and I guess it's kind of a league thing, but of just like trying to downplay injuries and say like, a perfect example of this is Matt Brash. Look at how they were like, it's something minor. Don't worry. He'll be back soon. And, he's on a good clip to recover. He should be back in a couple months.
All the way up to, he's throwing at 80%. Give it a couple more days.
And then, boom, just like that, Matt Brash has Tommy John surgery, and he's out for, the next year and a half? And
dude, I will say, though, like, recovering from injuries and being a pitcher like that is really, really hard. And maybe they were progressing towards throwing at 100%. But when you haven't been throwing and you're working on recovering from some kind of tear or inflammation, there's only one little thing goes wrong, and it's totally unraveled. Everything you've built, like, you're trying to build this sandcastle, and this wave comes and just ruins it. Like, that's the way it is recovering from injuries when you're going out there and giving it 100% again, and your elbow just hasn't been ready for that. And like I said, one little thing, and it's just unraveled, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not 100% ready for it, you're going to re-aggravate something. You're going to miss more time. As a pitcher, you're probably better off just biting the bullet, missing one start, coming back, your next start healthy, than getting put on the 15-day. To the 60-day, to missing a year and a half.
I just hope Kirby gets ahead of whatever is going on and takes it upon himself to say something and take 1 or 2 starts off, get on that 10-day IL, and make sure you're okay and like build back up. Don't keep wearing and tearing on that when you're at the peak of your progression in your career right now. This is supposed to be your best year, and there's a lot of pressure to do that. But make sure you take those extra days off when you need them. He seems to be bulldogging through something that just take the 10-day IL stint, please.
Absolutely.
And, but we love George Kirby. He has over 4 ERA now. He hasn't been his best, and I can tell something's wrong.
Yeah.
I hope that we hear something about that soon.
An interesting thing, though, when Kirby got pulled in that game, they put in a relief pitcher, also by the name Kirby Sneed.
Yep.
And
That's such a good baseball name.
Amazing baseball name.
And congratulations, Kirby Sneed, the 1,000th
Yeah.
Mariner
There we go.
in MLB or in Mariners history. He was the 1,000th. Oh my God, I can't say 1,000th.
There we are.
Very close enough.
Player number 1,000.
There you go.
Yes.
Could have said it like that.
So the Kirby to Kirby transition, 1,000th Mariner, and also, where are you at, Nintendo? The Kirby, get on this shit. Are you not still 10% owners in the Mariners
I don't
right
think
now?
they are.
I don't know. Either way, Nintendo should be all over this right now. Seattle would be all about it. Please make a Kirby t-shirt. I would love a pink t-shirt with like a Kirby shirtsy with like Kirby's face on the front, like a pink Kirby jersey. Hell
Kirby,
yeah.
George Kirby was wearing something like that. Kirby t-shirt.
They also do a bunch of Kirby graphics and stuff at the stadium when he's pitching. So there's some overlap.
I would
There
love
goes
if
the
they
camera
make
again.
one.
Yep. Recording. Let me hit one of these. Hopefully that does something. Fuck.
We're back again with another technical difficulty. We hope this episode turns out all right because it is been a nightmare for us on this side of the camera. This one is giving us some issues.
We're learning on the fly. We're missing a producer, but we're here sogging it up.
It's soggy in here today.
It's soggy.
Just like the Mariners offense, the Mariners have struck out 10 or more times in 25 of 38 games. Make that 26 of 39 games because we did it again on Thursday.
Wow.
That's a lot. That's about, there's
that's
27
weird.
outs in a game.
First Thursday game we've had.
Yeah.
Every week we've been like, Thursday's awesome because we don't have to lose that day.
Yeah.
Well, this Thursday sucked.
This Thursday was
We
awful.
lost. Yeah.
Pablo Lopez carved us up, man.
Dude, Logan had a bad start.
Logan had a really bad start. He had a really bad first inning. He was walking guys. It was not fun. It was very forgettable, and I don't really want to talk about it. I feel bad for Logan.
Yeah. 9 men went to the plate in the first inning.
Yep.
Brutal. And that game, like, it's hard for me to turn off a game. And it was perfect because it was a early morning game. It started at 10 a.m. and it was perfect for me. I was at work listening to it, and then I just was just not having fun. And I turned it off for a little bit and then turned it back on right as some reliever just gave up another home run, and I was just like, oh my God. There's nothing to say about it. 11-1. It was a shellacking. It was over. That one.
I just kept checking in, hoping the Mariners were making some valiant effort to score a run or two. Nah.
Only player to score a run, Luke Raley, was also the only dude on our team to get 2 hits.
Yeah. Only multiplayer hit. Only RBI of the day.
How you win ball games?
Mariners strike out 15.
Clearly.
Striking out 15 times again. Remember, there's 27 outs in the game. 15 of 27 is insane.
That means for 3/4 of our games, we have struck out almost half of our outs.
Over a third of the time. About a third of the time on average.
We are just unproductive outs, just Kang at the plate. And the fact that we are above 500 is insane.
It's a damn miracle.
It is crazy, and it just is a testament to our pitching staff.
Thank you, baseball gods.
Well,
for giving
speaking of
us
the pitching
this
staff, we can say fuck it to Thursday and talk about Friday, where Brian Wu made his return.
Brian Wu, my boy, I added him to my fantasy team against Patrick. Put up 14 points in 4 innings. Pretty nice.
He was absolutely dealing. Great ovation by the crowd. Everyone was super happy to have Brian Wu back, and he looked great. He was carving up the Oakland A's, and yes, it's the A's, but they've been winning ball games. They're not a complete joke of a squad. They're still bottom tier, don't get me wrong, but they're not the White Sox, which isn't even
The Rockies just got their 10th win, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago.
Hey,
my
good for
God.
them.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But Brian Wu, returned to form, was doing well, and then left abruptly with an injury again in his return. Not something you want to see.
No, but he went 4.1 innings, and then the trainers went out, and
Yeah.
he didn't look like he was in pain or anything, but they said it was a precautionary removal from the game, but it was concerning. But he did pitch 4.1 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 3 strikeout baseball. That's what we want to see. And during his rehab starts in AAA, he pitched 11.1 innings and had 17 strikeouts, 0 walks, 0 runs. So
That's great.
He's been on fire, so I hope that he's okay. They said he's going to make his next start, so I don't know why they would pull him if there's not something wrong, which concerns me. It doesn't seem serious, but it's just something else that's in the back of my mind now.
I saw something that his fastball dropped to like 89 miles per hour in that 4th inning. So
It said that 88-mile-an-hour slider
was his fastball.
was a fastball. And it's like, oh, whoops.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So that is not good. We want him back. He's a great pitcher. And, we just need him to be healthy. And, that's the biggest thing. We do have Emerson Hancock that can fill in. He filled in up until Wu's return. And I would say 75% of Hancock's starts were good.
Yeah.
He did well enough.
Yeah, and like from a 5th starter, from a replacement 5th starter, like that, what more can you ask for?
That's pretty much crushing it.
More
Yeah.
strikeouts. but he did all right.
Yeah, no, I thought he was really
just
good.
fucking around.
We would like Wu to be back and fully healthy.
He has way more swing and miss, way more like ground ball potential. He's a lot more consistent and a huge upgrade over Hancock, even though Hancock's pretty all right. We want to have that 5-strong rotation that's top of the league. Like that's every day you face the Mariners, you have a starter coming at you that is a tough. Every at bat's tough against the Mariners pitching staff, and that's the hardest thing. That's why the Mariners are winning games.
Yep. Well, Friday we beat the bricks off the A's. The brakes.
Either one.
We beat the bricks off them. They showed up with hella bricks. By the time they left, there was no bricks left on them.
Bricked the brakes off of them. No, I was at the game last night. A lot of fun. It was really nice having a game where you're not sweating in the 9th inning and just like, oh, can they pull it out? The Mariners struck early and they struck hard, put up 5 runs in the 4th inning, another 2 in the 5th inning. So back-to-back crooked numbers, what you want to see. And the Mariners avoided a Seattle special. They had the bases loaded.
Oh yeah,
With no outs, and we had an easy pop out and a strikeout, and we were thinking, oh God, here we go again, bases loaded, no outs, can't do anything with it. But Demo said, screw that, I'm going to knock in a couple, and he did. And then Ty France came in after, knocked in another couple more runs, a huge 5-run spot.
yeah. Dylan Moore had 5 RBIs in this game for a career high. He had a couple hits, big hits,
Had a home run.
and that double with the or that single with the bases loaded to score 2. That's clutch from Demo. That's what we want to see. He's stroking the ball around the field very nicely. That's what I like.
Also, you want to talk about someone just like having a good day, and like his final RBI that he got was a check swing.
Yeah.
It was in on his hands, and he literally check swung, and it had enough lift to pop over the shortstop's head into no man's land, and another run scored out of it. And
I did notice last year Demo's the check swing champion. He's constantly check swinging, but he's just so ready to swing at every pitch. He's swinging until he's not. So he's a check swing champion, and he got lucky there. That's awesome.
Lucky, no way, dude. He's strong. He's been hitting the weight room.
Yeah, that's true. That's
That's why
true.
it had the power.
Those forearms, bro, muscled it right out there.
so seeing the Oakland A's in person yesterday, I noticed 2 things that kind of bummed me out just for baseball, and just the fact that they are not a functional team. Like every single one of those guys is just collecting a paycheck. And it's not the player's fault. It's the ownership. I mean, it's a shit show going on in Oakland, and it's essentially free agent market, or basically mercenaries is the word I was looking for.
Sure,
just players for hire to just fill up slots on this team. Two things I noticed in particular. There was one player on the A's fouled a ball off of his foot, off of his knee, and he was in tremendous amount of pain, and he was hobbled for a little bit and took some time. A trainer didn't come out. The coach didn't come out. They literally just had this dude like in pain.
Rub some dirt on it.
It was about
walk it off.
It was about 2 minutes of him like being staggered and shit. Do we just...
The rest might have to be audio. We're just not getting it done with this video right now.
What is going on?
I don't know. We got everything working against us, but we're gonna power through. We're gonna finish this episode audio
yeah.
style.
We're just gonna power through. Okay. But the coach didn't come out. No trainer. They just left this guy out there to be in pain, and I thought that rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm like, damn, like you guys really don't give a shit about your team. And then another play that happened, close play at first, A's hitter, infield, ground ball, hustles down to first, bang, bang play at first. He thought he beat it, and so he's standing on first base, and he's telling his coach to challenge it. And they just didn't acknowledge him at all. They didn't challenge. They just go to swap, and it was awkward because the runner was standing on first base, like waiting, and then realized that no one was going to challenge, and then he kind of just had to...
I'm out here alone.
Yeah, and then
Okay,
just...
that's how it's going to be?
Dude,
Yeah.
on the radio call, Sims was kind of giving him shit because he does look stupid because the team doesn't have his back like that.
Yeah.
I
no
heard him
one's
be like,
no
he's
one's-
out there giving the universal sign for look at the replay, and
Yeah.
they're not going to do it.
Yeah,
That's
and,
what I heard.
Yeah.
like the manager probably doesn't even really have his hand up, like holding up the play,
No.
like let me get on the phone and check with my guy. Like there wasn't a whole lot. I
Didn't want to
didn't
ask
see the play.
video
but-
replay guy for the A's if they have one. Based on what Patrick's saying, they might just not have
They
that guy.
probably don't even have a guy.
Well, like the Oakland A's have been in shambles, right? Last year was their worst year ever, and with all the news about them, like all the sell the team stuff, all the terrible ownership, the stuff with Oakland, the city, whether they're gonna stay in Oakland and build a new ballpark, move to Vegas, they finally have a place to go now. They're going to Sacramento.
to a minor league part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the city they're going to.
Right,
So what
no,
I'm
they do
saying
have a
is
destination,
there is an
yes.
established path. They're not just all up in the air and in chaotic
That's true.
bullshit now.
There's a plan.
So there are players who have been with the A's for quite a few years now and have a little bit of camaraderie there. And I will say, I mean, any of those guys could be traded, but I hope that they're looking at signing a couple players up to like start something because they can't just be a shit show forever. And if they have a few players that they can sign up for a few years to get something established, they should do that because they're not too bad this year. They're actually playing just under 500 baseball. Like we're playing 3 games over, they're playing 3 games under. Like they're not that far away from being a 500 team the way they've been playing this year.
And the Oakland A's closer is electric.
Mason Miller.
Mason Miller. I think he has like the most pitches thrown over 100 miles per hour or whatever this year. The dude is an absolute menace out there.
He
And
throws like 103.
Yeah.
Like 100 miles an hour almost every fastball he throws. And the highest average velocity pitch anybody's thrown. And yeah, they made him a closer. Last year he was a starting pitcher and they made him a closer and he's quite the weapon. Also on my fantasy team, putting up 10, 11 points every save. It's awesome. But Mason Miller is the man for them.
it's unfortunate to see the Oakland A's so dysfunctional. It's heartbreaking for the city, for their fans, and
For the game of baseball.
for
in
the game of
general.
baseball. It is embarrassing, honestly, what's happening to the Oakland A's. And yeah, seeing those 2 instances of the foul ball and the asking for a challenge, and it just seemed like no one gave a shit. No one cared. Coaches didn't care. Yeah, kind of sad to see.
Yeah, they're at the bottom, and they're trying to win some games to hopefully turn a culture around, and they can build off of something. But, hey, at least the Mariners aren't the A's. Like, the Mariners have been the A's, like, the whole 2009 to 13 to, I don't know, the
17.
whole 2010s.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad, man. So we know what that feels like. At least we're not, like, losing a baseball team. Sorry, Oakland.
And it was nice to see the Mariners jump on a team like the A's, you know, especially after the Minnesota series, which is a good ball club. You know, they're doing good things over there in Minnesota. And so to have a home game, and the crowd was electric at the stadium last night. It was absolutely packed. You know, Mother's Day weekend and stuff. Also, shout out to the moms. Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to
Mother's Day,
all you moms
moms
out there. But between the nice weather and, yeah, Mother's Day weekend and stuff, you know, the stadium was packed, but it was really, really nice to see. It was electric. It was loud. It was a lot of fun. And it was nice to see the ballpark like that.
For sure. I'm glad that people are coming out. But, you know, weekends, people want to be at the ballpark, especially when the weather's nice. And it's the first really nice weekend of the year as well as Mother's Day weekend. So very cool to hear that the ballpark is bopping. We need more energy in that park. And I'm glad to see people are at least behind the Mariners.
There's a topic I kind of wanted to talk about that has been bothering me. And it has to do with 2 of the Mariners commercials that drive me crazy.
Is it the one where Ichiro teaches Julio how to catch flies and not hit baseballs?
No. There's
Every
one.
time I see that commercial, I'm like, oh, cool, he taught him that. No, can you teach him to please hit?
That'd be nice.
There's one that bothers me. There's one that the Mariners have a partnership with AM/PM, and the start of the commercial goes, "What's better than a Mariners win? How about free concessions?"
No.
And I'm like, no, that's not. What? What are we doing? You save some money on some chips, so it's okay that the Mariners lost?
They're kind of like, get a win while the Mariners win. They're hoping for 2 wins. I think that
Is that the
commercial
one where at the
is
end of the commercial, they're like, how about a win on the field?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A win on the field and at the booth. I don't know.
They're like, that's a win in the concession stands. Now, how about for a win on the field, Mariners? That's how it ends, or
Yeah.
one of them ends that way. And I'm like, geez.
But when
Throwing
they're
shade at the
when they're straight up, what's better than a Mariners win?
not a lot.
Like nothing. I want to see the team win.
Yeah.
And the whole gimmick, it kind of bothers me that the Mariners can't stick to a slogan. They've kind of just been rotating through. We had the Embrace the Chaos in 2022, which I really liked. We had the See Us Rise. Now we have the Tridents Up, which I don't personally care for
Not a fan.
as much.
get dented.
Get dented is
That-
great.
That's
Get
ours.
behind it. Get dented.
But they're doing this weird marketing campaign where they're like, come to the stadium, Aners.
oh, yeah.
Yeah. You have, oh my God. It's
Stay Fariners.
Stay Fariners.
Puke my brains out.
It just
Cringe.
like I
Awful.
don't know what's going on with the marketing department, but it seems like they are. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like the Mariners, they're striking out a ton, but,
Yeah, but
hot
maybe they're
damn,
not
it is-
marketing to us. They're marketing to
I
just
guess-
Seattle in general, people who don't really care about baseball or just want to have a fun day at the ballpark. Oh, I'm going to download an app so every time I get a donut, I get
Yeah.
I don't know, I get Mariners points.
I
or
get
some
points
shit.
towards Mariners tickets.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's not us, you know.
Nope, it's not us, and it is cringy to listen to all those
But it is
promotions.
annoying for people like us who what's better than a Mariners win? No, stop.
Stop.
That's,
No.
that's the thing we want.
How
I'm
about-
paying money for the Mariners to win.
Well, the Mariners have been winning. It's nice.
Yeah.
We've gone above 500 and stayed above 500 the whole time.
That's huge.
We haven't looked back or gotten close. We're still 3 games above 500.
Mm-hmm.
So let's aim for that 10 games above 500. I keep saying, like, if we're not trending towards that, then what are we doing? We're just going to be around 500 again like we were all year until the All-Star break last year. And the way a lot of our veteran players that we've been very optimistic about are playing, like, are they showing us who they're going to be all year? Because they're very streaky. Mitch Haniger, Jorge Polanco, Ty
Polanco
France.
can bunt, though.
He did get a bunt single. Did you know that all 5 bunts the Mariners have bunted this year are all base hits?
Look at that.
Sick.
That's
Who
surprising.
doesn't like a bunt?
With the one we
Maybe
couldn't get
our
down.
old host, Owen. That
If
guy
a-
hates a bunt.
I love me a good bunt.
I love a bunt.
If Arias
Big
could have
fan.
got that bunt down, there's a good chance that's a hit.
Da-na-na-na.
Bunt!
Bunt.
Need more bunting. It works.
It does work.
Line drives and bunts, baby. But in the Twins series, the Mariners, I mean, they only had 29 hits, 11 walks, 53 strikeouts for 15 runs in four games. It's not good.
53.
Yeah, 53 strikeouts.
In 4 games.
So we have 410 strikeouts through the end of the, I guess that was Friday. Through the end of Friday, we have 410 strikeouts. And we have played 39 games,
That's
averaging over 10 per game. That's too much, man. That doesn't work.
and it's baffling to me because the Mariners made moves in the offseason to kind of rectify the strikeout problem. They got rid of Suarez. They got rid of Teoscar Hernandez. That's over 400 strikeouts between 2 players right there. And we thought, okay, well, this is good. We're going to strike out less. And we're striking out more than we ever have.
I will say pitching's better than it's ever been. They're spinning the ball. I don't know if it's a dead ball, but like averages and slugging around the league is down in general this year. So it's not just us, but we are on the extreme side of that. And we're batting 225, a 304 on base, and a 364 slugging on the season. That's really low. That's a 668 OPS. Not good. The BABIP, the batting average on balls in play, so that's cutting out all the strikeouts. Just when we put the ball in play, we're only hitting 296. So like we're not good, man. The OPS plus 92. So it's only 8% worse than the league on an average, but that means offense around the league is not great either. There are certain teams that can really hit, but ours is not one of them. So what do we do to turn it around? Like, I've been trusting Mitch Haniger, Jorge Polanco, Mitch Garver, and even Ty France, who's turning 30 this year, to do something.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the trade deadline, I believe, is the 30th, 31st, maybe, somewhere at the end of July.
Yeah, it's usually around the All-Star break or like a little after, I guess. I think they've pushed it back.
So what do we got? Like a month and a half to weigh our options here.
Yeah, I mean, if the Mariners want to make this push, we're gonna have to do something.
Either the team has to step up and start playing good baseball, or there's going to be a few heads on the chopping block.
Yeah, the team's not hitting fastballs well. That's most of the problem is like the fastballs in the zone, we're popping up and fouling straight back. And the fattest fastballs to hit, I've been watching them miss. They don't put the barrel on it.
When they're always sitting fastball too, and you're continuously.
I think they're hitting like they're sitting off speed a lot and can't adjust to the fastball. Like they should be sitting
is the exact
fastball and
opposite of the problem that we've had in the past years when they can't hit anything breaking.
yeah.
They can't hit off speed.
So they keep spinning it
You
at
have
us.
to feed them a fastball, and now we can't hit a fastball. What are we doing?
Yeah. And I do see Julio. They're pitching Julio fastballs hard in, and Ty France too. If they get that fastball up and in towards the upper corner of that strike zone, up and in, they're swinging straight through that. Both of those guys cannot hit a fastball up and in, and it's a very deceptive pitch. But we're being attacked to our weaknesses and not playing to our strengths. So the hitters, really, they need to adopt a new kind of philosophy behind the scenes. I don't know what Brant Brown and the boys are doing back there, but there really needs to be some kind of revolution behind the scenes from the players first to say, like, this is what we want to do. Tell us how to do this.
Yeah.
And stop feeding us all this information that doesn't help us in the moment. Like, just give us a simple approach where we put the ball in play more. That's what we need, to put the ball in play, because good things happen when you put the ball in play. The only way to score runs is putting the ball in play.
I'm just curious what the answer is. We've had a revolving door of hitting coaches. We bring someone in for a year. Oh, the Mariners hit like shit. Fire that hitting coach. Bring in a new guy. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I mean, statistically, one hitting coach has to be good at their job, right? Like, why can the Mariners not hit? It doesn't make any sense. Like,
the players have to do it.
Well, Jorge Polanco started the season off real patient, just working counts really well, Cal Raleigh has been super patient, and they can both, pick their pitches, but
sure,
Polanco's been striking out a little bit. He's kind of in a slump.
Yeah.
He needs to get his eyes checked or something.
There are times when they have been good at that kind of thing, and they just can't. It doesn't last very long. It's a weak stretch where you're like, whoa, look at these good at bats. Everyone's patient. Everyone's working counts so well, walking the bases loaded, and like, okay, well, let's get some hits. But that's one thing.
That's only when like a pitcher is struggling, we're able to take advantage and be more patient because they can hardly throw a strike. And in those moments, it does feel good, and it gives us a sense of what we want our offense to look more like and be more patient. Even when a guy is like pitching better, have a better eye, have a little bit more patience, or be aggressive early in the count when you know they're trying to get strike one. And like swing until you're not swinging. And if that ball's an obvious ball, like take ball one and like attack the first strike they're going to throw, because it might be the best pitch you're going to get. And guys like Rojas are doing that. Julio tries to do that, but they keep pitching him inside, and he'll swing and miss off the plate inside all day. And then they just attack him with two strikes. They'll throw the high fastball and then throw breaking down and out. And everyone knows how to attack Julio. He's not putting the ball back in a pitcher's court. They're going to do that until he proves that he can hit that. And it sucks. A lot of our hitters are in this, I don't know, we're not putting the ball back in the pitcher's court. We're not proving that we can hit our weaknesses. So if a pitcher can hit their spots, we're fucked. I don't like to see that our players are so streaky like that. Like we're saying, Haniger, Polanco, France, and Garver, they're streaky as fuck. Like, we need them to be consistent. I was saying it early in the year. That's the most important thing, and I'm excited for these guys to be a consistent player on the team to really hold things steady. But it's been
Josh Rojas
up and down, yeah. And Luke Raley's proved that he should be playing more.
Dylan Moore.
These are guys that have stepped up and played their role better than the starters on this team. Luis Arias even has proving that he's a better player than our starters.
We said Josh Rojas in the season, Demo, and Luke Raley. These are all part-time players.
Right.
And they're playing the best.
Yeah.
Give Haniger some fucking rest.
Yep.
Don't put him in right field every day. He's old and frail.
Yeah, he doesn't need that wear and tear.
He's as old as you, Matt.
I know. We're breaking down. My knees hurt and shit.
I know.
Get Haniger out of right field
I would never
already.
put you in right field.
Every day.
Oh, you'd put me in right field, bro.
You got to have a butt pad just to do this podcast.
I can still play some right field. Hit me a fly ball. I'll chase it like a dog after a frisbee. No, but for real though, Haniger needs more time off. Let's get our young, exciting players some more playing time and get some energy going
But that's kind of the exact opposite of what I was saying. Well, not really. What I'm saying is they're part-time players. They should have more playing time.
Yes.
So we agree there.
Yes.
But they also get their rest.
Yeah, that's the important part. Keep them fresh. Keep them ready
Yeah.
for the situations where you need a veteran mind to step in and do what they're trained to do for their entire life. You know what I mean? Hit a fastball over the fence, Mitch Garver. Haniger hit a nice liner into left field and score that run when we have runners on base. Pinch hitting, DHing, those guys need their days off to stay fresh. They're getting older.
Yeah. There's also a nice open spot in our roster where Sam Haggerty doesn't need to take up that spot. We can put somebody else there.
Yeah, he's been really bad.
Yes.
He's like 0 for 9. He hasn't done anything except for like pinch run and maybe steal a base, play good defense, sure, but who cares if you have like a +2 WAR because your defense is okay, but you haven't had one hit and you've had like 10 opportunities to even be at the plate. It's pretty much nobody. We already have guys that do everything he does. So when are we calling someone else up? Or we just have him on the roster until Canzone can get back in like 3 weeks or something? I didn't realize his injury was going to take so long to come back.
Yeah, Canzone's been out for a little bit ever since his collision with the wall pretty early on in the season. It was like week 2 of the season, and he got hurt. And we'd like to have Canzone back. I don't know. And the fact that the Mariners are above 500 with this abysmal hitting is nothing short of shocking.
Canzone's one of our best hitters. I mean, he was striking out a lot in that first week, though, at the same rates that everyone else is, like 30-ish%. But he is a dangerous hitter, and he's someone that I think plays a nice role in our offense. Even though we keep saying, yeah, Rojas can play left, though. But it doesn't matter. Like, Canzone is a different player, and he is a very good young player that we need in our lineup.
I don't think it's Rojas can play left, though. It's,
he can play left.
He can play
too.
left, too.
Well, yeah.
Exactly. We're not saying keep him there, but
why not?
Look.
I mean, Rojas has left field experience in his career. And honestly, what if we make Haniger the DH and we cut ties with Garver and have Canzone and Rojas?
What do you mean cut ties with Garver? DFA the dude?
I mean, it's a 2-year contract, but if this dude's not hitting, I mean,
I don't think the Mariners eat that. They'd have to try to at least
get some sort of value
get
by the
him. Just,
deadline.
trade him back to the Rangers if they want to try him out, or like he has more value than that. He's not just like
Get
DFA
Caballero
guy.
back.
We're paying him $10.5 million and like $12 million. Like they don't just eat that.
Right.
10 million.
So
we're giving him $1 a strikeout.
Yeah. See, I don't think he's doing well, but I don't think we have the payroll flexibility to just cut ties.
I like that a lot. That's hilarious. 10 million strikeouts?
10 million strikeouts. That's what it fucking feels like.
Hey, we're out here
10.5.
setting records.
It's going to be crazy if the Mariners make the playoffs while also striking out more times than any team in history.
Maybe they just want to see if it can be done. Like, no one's ever tried this before. How about swing at every pitch?
Break the record, double the record. Let's go. Let's see if we can hit as many home runs as the rest of the league while striking out twice as many times. That'd be quite the season. The Mariners actually have hit more home runs than they had doubles. At some point this week, it was like 38 doubles, 40 home runs. I don't know what it is now, but
I saw the Mariners
what the hell?
had the least amount of doubles in all of baseball, and it like wasn't even that close, honestly.
No, but it was by like 13 or something. We were far off the pace in doubles. And somehow we have like quite a handful of triples, but how do you have more home runs than you have doubles? I don't get it. Our team is just not firing on any cylinders, or the cylinders are firing, just not at the right time.
Not a lot of slug, but a lot of pulling it down the third base line and watching, I don't know, man. Just watching outfielders flounder, just capitalizing on mistakes, getting to third, and not hitting for power, not having a lot of speed on the base path. That's how you don't get a lot of doubles.
We're just not hitting the ball into the gaps. And if we hit it in the air, we're either hitting it over the fence or flying out. So I think it's just we're kind of hitting it to players rather than into the gaps. And that's kind of unlucky, but at the same time, we're not hitting the ball enough. We're not putting it in play enough. And that's the real point here is we need to put the ball in play, and it needs to be a priority behind the scenes to do something about it. Earlier in the season, we saw them go away from the iPads in the dugout, and it made an immediate impact on what was happening on the field. So what are we doing now? Why did that happen for like 2 days and then it was very forgettable and they just fell back into old habits? Like, why are we not actively making some kind of obvious change out there? Whether it's everybody goes out there and swings at the first pitch or takes the first pitch the first time through, or like, I want to see something happening actively, because we just keep seeing more of the same and hoping and trying to be optimistic about it. But we're a quarter of the way through the season, right? Like, what are these players going to show us that they haven't yet? Is this what we're going to expect from them all year? Because Polanco's been hitting 200. Haniger has home runs here and there, but he's hitting like 200, 215 without slug. Ty France actually has a better slash line than most guys on our team, but it's still not good for a first baseman in the league. So what's the plan? Do we trade for a bigger, better bat? And if so, is that one bat going to do anything? Because if Julio isn't firing and our veterans are struggling and are streaky, what does one bat do? And is the front office motivated to do it?
I've been thinking, though, one bat really can change the tide of a team. I mean, look at Cal and how clutch he's been. That's been one hitter coming up in these big moments and getting it done. What if we had another clutch hitter that comes up when Cal isn't batting that inning? Someone
That's
else.
twice as many.
Yeah.
And that's just math.
That's just science right there. But I think a one bat can make a huge difference for this squad. And honestly, we need it, because the hitting has been so bad. The fact that we're winning games is crazy. And thank God for our pitching staff, or else we'd be bottom of the barrel right now, because the Mariners are in like the bottom 5 in almost pretty much every offensive statistical category. Like, they are just, leading in strikeouts, lowest batting average, lowest on base, lowest slug. We're not hitting home runs. Like, I mean, we're hitting home
league average in home runs, or like towards that. We have hit as many home runs as the Yankees through like Thursday or Friday, which is pretty good. Like, the Mariners have bopped 40 homers, but like I said, how do you hit 40 homers but 38 doubles? We're not like, you can hit it over the fence but not into the field. Like, I don't get it. If we
Catch
can
a
do
breeze
that,
every now
why
and
can't
again?
we do that?
Yeah,
and it
that's
doesn't
true.
make sense. Usually you have about twice as many doubles as you have home runs, and this is a very weird anomaly where if we put the ball in play, it's going over the fence or fly out.
It's very all or nothing. Swing at everything, catch it, and if you get a good one, it's gone. But it's not a lot of contact unless it's home runs.
Yeah. Not great situational hitting. Just, oh, man. Well, we kind of got all the meat on the bone of everything that's happened in the past week, along with some changes and that needs to be made. I mean, something needs to be done with this Mariners offense, because it is brutal. It's been hard. It's been nice that we've been winning games at a pretty good clip, but damn, it's still frustrating baseball to watch.
The way the Mariners roster was built, we were hoping to compete for the division. The way Houston has started the season has been real nice for us, because we're up here battling for first place with Texas at 3 games over 500. But the way Houston has been playing for the last decade straight, I mean, they're always playing at an 8 to 10 more games over 500 clip, and that's a division-winning style team. And our team is right now where we've been, wild card bound. And the way the East plays, oh man, the way that the Central is playing this year with the Royals coming up, the Twins are playing well. And even the Tigers are a little bit tougher. The Guardians are okay. And the Central's better than it was last year. The East has 4 teams in that division that are really good. Boston seems like it's kind of in the middle of that division over there, and that's where the Mariners would kind of match up with in the East, is kind of like in the middle with Boston there. And I mean, Boston fans think their team sucks, and Mariners fans over here are like, we're good, and we're very mediocre for a winning team right now. From a bigger perspective, a national perspective, the Mariners are dangerous, but they can't hit. So what are they going to do? They have to figure out how to hit because their pitching is so good. We can't waste this window when Logan Gilbert is coming into his own, into the peak of his career. Same with George Kirby. Castillo is at the back end of the peak of his career. And, I mean, Bryce Miller's doing his best. We can't waste this window with the dominant pitching we have.
Well, let's hopefully we get some bats going. And like I mentioned earlier in the episode, we have a crazy long East Coast road trip coming up that's really going to put the boys to the test. But we'll be back next week to give you all the information, make you the most informed fans in the universe. Thank you all so much for listening, and we are sorry we've had a ton of technical difficulties this episode, but hopefully it still reaches you and you guys enjoy it, and hopefully we'll be without that issues next week. Thank you all for listening, and go Mariners!